the roles or rules mentioned in this book anymore. In the world filled with Oprah and Dr. Phil and stock markets and our own businesses, I don't know how much we all, as Adams and Eve, spend our time there as compared to here, where the guidance is. And our children are still wondering, I wish my father, my Adam, never went close to the tree. Now, if Adams are still wondering, how did we get here? We lost domestic harmony the day we raised a hand on an innocent woman out of our anger. We lost domestic harmony the day we felt being a homemaker is not a full-time job worthy of respect in its own. We lost domestic harmony the day we got too attached to our own gadgets and we stopped listening to the person sitting right next to us. We lost domestic harmony the day we became too big to apologize. And I think we lost domestic harmony the day we stopped paying heed to the voice of Imam-e-Waqt, Amirul Mu'mineen, that he had to give dozens of sermons. That's the day we lost domestic harmony. So someone will say, in this day and age now, where is that perfect model? Where can you show me someone who walked the walk, like Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa, and you had a financially independent woman? See, those are old times. How can we replicate that model now? Those were not old times. Let me take you back to something even better than that. The example of a perfect Qawwam, even better than Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And who did he marry? Ummahatul Mu'mineen, Hazrat Khadijatul Kubra, who I think it's fair to say was the first female CEO of Islam. She was a working woman. She was the breadwinner. She was a wealthy woman. So instead of going into further details, I will just tell you what was their testimony for each other. What language you used to describe each other. At the time of first revelation, when Ahaz was trembling, he came to Hazrat Khadija, who responded, surely Allah will never humiliate you. You carry out the obligations of your relatives. You are truthful. You relieve people's burden. You possess high moral qualities which have become rare, and you honor your guests. So you do help the distressed. This was the testimony of Hazrat Khadija Raziyallahu Ta'ala anha. This is the definition of Qawwam. After 25 years of that paradise, when Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa Raziyallahu Ta'ala anha one day asked Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, O Prophet of Allah, why do you still think of that old lady when you have younger wives? This is what is the testimony of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for the first female CEO, Ummahatul Mu'mineen. Hazrat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Oh Aisha, you have no idea how good Khadija was to me. She believed in the truthfulness of my claim when others rejected me. She became my best companion and helper when others abandoned me. That was the role. She was in a very strong position. If anyone could have manipulated, controlled a husband, you could not be in a better position. She did not marry a prophet for whom heavens and earth were created. She married a 25-year-old orphan. And this is the testimony. So my brothers, my Adams, and my dear sisters, our Eves, it does not matter. See, we all carry an image. I can come here, give a speech, and create an image. And you may think this is how Sadr Sahib is. But it does not matter what my image is at my workplace. It does not matter what my image is in the Jamaat, unless that image matches with what my image is at my home. See, that is the testimony that matters the most. Azza was truthful outside the home and inside the home. He was caring and loving outside the home and inside the home. It doesn't work any other way. And I would submit that if there is a contradiction, I would toss everything else and just pick the one reference letter that is given to us by our spouse. That must be closest to reality. Unfortunately, we are trying to have it both ways. Last night, I took my son to a Burger King around 10 p.m. And he asked me, I don't know why he did, he rarely asks me such questions. He said, Baba, what is the tagline for Burger King? What's their slogan? I had no clue. You know what their slogan is? Anyone, just raise your hand. I'm not going to pick on you. Anyone knows the slogan for Burger King? Good. Have it your way. That's what Burger King says. See, at that stage it starts getting engraved in our mind. You can have it your way. But there is only one way. You have it your way or you have it Allah's way. See, there is no other way to cut it. I cannot just digest this dichotomy. We are trying to keep the world green. We are talking about environment, and our own paradise, our own Jannat is suffering, is not green. We are worried about Israeli and Palestinian conflict, and we say why these two parties can't come to the table, and a husband and wife can't come to the table. We are worried about the collateral damage of children in Iraq. Not to say it is all very important. All those move my heart. But who is going to take care of the collateral damage of all these broken relationships? Our own children. There is a dichotomy. And as Adams and Eves, we must explain that. And if one party has to do that explanation, it has to be Adam. See, we are the Qawam. It's not a power struggle. It's the burden. So where do we go from here? We have two choices. Choice one, we play by the rules and roles given to us by the Western world. We keep following the stocks. We keep watching Oprah and Dr. Phil. And yes, we will be very successful. Your stocks will go up. You will have a new car. You will have a nice iPod or a BlackBerry. You will have your own house. You will have your own computer. But we may not have a shoulder to cry on. That road is going to take us into isolation. And I'm not just making it up. Can you believe that 51% of women in America are living alone? More women live by themselves than either married or in a relationship where they have children at home. 51%, 47% of men live alone. In Manhattan, 48% of the households have only one person living in them. Is that what you call a Jannat? Next time you land into New York and you look at those rooftops, you can say one out of these two homes has only one person occupying the home. Is that what the definition of a Jannat is? Where you go in day in and day out with a key and you open the door and the room is the way you left it. Is that what a Jannat is? I don't see that in Holy Quran. There is no concept of Jannat without companionship. So that is one choice we can make. We can continue to go down that road of Burger King and have it our way. And as my brain tells me, my heart wants to believe, no, it will never happen. My brain tells me that there are some who will continue to follow that road, unfortunately, no matter what we do. Choice number two is that we follow the rules and roles offered to us by Holy Quran. We love our spouses for the sake of Allah, not to score any points. We forgive them so we be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We tolerate them as Allah tolerates us. We sacrifice so we can get more reward. We live a life of interdependence rather than independence. And by the way, interdependence is a higher trait. We live a life of interdependence, and at the end of the day, our children look up to us and say, thank God, my dad, my mom never went close to that tree. Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam said, in order to get this paradise, you must tread through, you must walk through a hell first. It's not going to be easy. So my advice to my dear brothers, my dear sisters, our Adams and Eve, please choose your paradise over Satan. Please choose your paradise over your ego or anything else that may look beautiful to us. At this stage, Satan may be going out there saying, who made this guy an expert on this? What credibility he has? Why is he lecturing you? Of all the people, I find myself the most unworthy to be standing here and talking to you about it. I'm not here as a testimony of any superiority over any one of you. In fact, quite the contrary. I'm a testimony to love